What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Redbeard here, bringing you yet another War Thunder upload. That's right, switching back from the world of tanks and back into the aircraft where I feel much more comfortable. I mean, I'm enjoying World of Tanks, but at the same time, I'm out of my element in that game. But I will continue to push on, see if I like the series enough, and if I get enough views to continue the series. But we're back in the skies, back in the Broke Fighter, the Bow Fighter, playing as the Brits in a ground strike mission, which we actually win. Yay! Spoiler. Just kidding. We actually do win. Spoiler there. But I felt like in this game, this is all I'm really going to go into the gameplay. As you can tell by the title that this is all about what I would like to see in the future. But I felt like if this had not been a patch 1.37, Ground Strike, I would have gotten at least 15 kills. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how many I actually get right now. But this whole new having to climb out and get bombers and just wasting my time to actually do it, it kind of made me a little upset for the simple fact that, you know, I could have probably gotten more kills than I actually have. But stepping away from the gameplay and getting right into what the title says, what I would like to see in the future patch 1.39, it has not been announced yet, but Gaijin has announced that they are introducing new aircraft, which means that patch 1.39 will most likely be, I don't know. I mean, you can never really tell these things until they're actually announced. But I would say probably about a month and a half away. At least for the test server, is probably 30 days out. So, what I would like to see in patch 1.39, and just diving straight in, is I would like, even though I have yet to get into this, I would love to see them start implementing some prototype German jets. The simple fact, there's two reasons for this. Number one, I mean, I'd love to see the Brits also get some, even if they're just prototype jets, that'd be great too. Honestly, guys, the Japanese aren't going to get anything because their entire World War II conquest was, their focus was naval fighters, Navy, and Army. That's all it was. They had no real jet program. I know they had a kamikaze jet, but I mean, it was just a flying torpedo. That's all it was. So, honestly, guys, I understand that Japan probably won't ever get jets for the simple fact they never designed jets. So, moving on though, I would love to see Gaijin start introducing some prototype jets. And there's only one that really just strikes me, and you guys feel free to take a look at this. I'll include a picture here. But the Messerschmitt ME P1101/92. It was a prototype. It was kind of based off the ME262 by Messerschmitt. But take a look at that picture, guys, and tell me that doesn't look like an F-86 Sabre. Or even beyond that, the A6 Intruder that the Navy uses. I mean, to be honest, guys, I know that the United States, after they won World War II, took all of Germany's aircraft scientists and was like, hey, start building us jets, guys. I know you guys were super smart. You already got the ME262, so start building us. But I mean, that prototype right there just has F-86 Sabre written all over, and I would love to see some prototypes. I mean, there's a couple other ones that were nice. I know they were developing I don't know, it was the stealth fighter, but one of the good ones that I would like to see also, and it kind of looks like the Vampire that the British had, which again, they are taking some German scientists, but the Focke-Wulf TA-183 looks very similar to the Vampire. I would love to see at least those two put in there, but I know Gaijin is very, very touchy on the subject of prototype, especially when it's not Russian. I mean, I'm not going to call out the bias, but I'm calling out the bias. But hey, it's their game. They can do whatever they want. That's a video for another day. But how awesome would it be to finally have some jets that maybe could compete aside from the MiG-15 and the F-86? I think that'd be awesome, especially if I haven't really done too much research into what the British were also developing as far as jets that were only prototypes. But I think it would be great to give the F-86 and the MiG-15 some company up there at the top. And the second thing, I'm just going to switch right in, guys. I'm not going to really go over it. You guys can comment about it. You can tell me what you think. You can say, Redbeard, you're so full of shit. You know, I think you're mentally handicapped. Whatever. You know, if you love it, you love it. If you don't, you don't. I'm just going to go straight into my next thing, because I don't have a lot of time. This isn't the longest video in the world. I don't like to make the longest video in the world. So, diving straight in. Second thing I would like to, if not in patch 1.39, in patch 1.41. I'm looking way ahead here, guys. But they need to add another tier to the aircraft tier systems they have. Right now we have 5, which is okay, but I promise you guys, I've had way too many gameplays where people are just completely outmatching me or I'm completely outmatching them. And the perfect way that I've come across to fix the system is just to add one more tier. And a lot of people will be like, that doesn't really sound that smart. Just bear with me, guys. Alright, if you added tier 6 or tier 0, it'd be perfect for the simple fact that the F-86, MiG-15, and the high tier jets would all move to either tier 6 or stay tier 5. I'm going to go with tier 1 through 6 just to make this explanation a lot quicker. So if we had 6 tier system, MiG-15s and F-86s and all the high tier jets would all move to tier 6, which means the BF-109 G6s, G10s, and the D-13 Focke-Wulf, as well as maybe the Comet and the 262 would stay at tier 5. They say, that's not going to add much, but just hear me out, guys. Moving down to tier 4, now you only have to have maybe the G2 and the F-Series BF-109 at tier 4, allowing the E3 BF-109, I'm just going to stick with the Germans because I'm really on this, but the E3 and the new F1 variant, I believe that they have BF-109, staying at tier 3. The equivalents could be like the P400, the Mark 5, I don't know, whatever, the Spitfire, just staying at tier 3. Tier 2, suddenly now you have the BF-109 E1, the Hawker Hurricanes, the Spitfire Mark 1s, and maybe a few other aircraft just thrown in there, just general. And then finally at tier 1, all you have to have is maybe if you're used to patch 1.35, the level 0 through 3 aircraft, the Italian MC aircrafts, all your biplanes, the lags, personally, I would say move on to tier 2, just because. But I mean, they would have it. But a 6-tier system just seems a lot easier. It creates enough of a gap where, I mean, every game I seem to see at least one essential tier 1 guy in the match, even if I'm in my Germans with my tier essential 4 battle rating aircraft. I mean, it's just absolutely madness out there, and it needs to be fixed. It needs to be addressed soon. Honestly, I'd much rather see that over the ground strike mission. I'm not even going to go into that in the patch 1.39. The simple fact that I know they've been trying to add updates to it, but they just kind of need to go back, start from scratch for that one. They kind of messed up on that. But the final thing that I would like to see in patch 1.39, I'm not asking a lot in patch 1.39, or even patch 1.41 if they can't, because I know they're already developing. It's probably 30 days out from the test server. But what I would like to see is a new game mode, and not like as in ground strike domination. I'm going to come up with a future video. I'm going to go into detail with this. But one thing I would really love to see is a game mode in between arcade and realistic. I don't know what we'd call it. Maybe it would just be normal mode. I don't know. You'd have arcade, normal, realistic. But what I would like to see is maybe a map and spawn system where the map itself is probably double the size of the normal arcade map, which wouldn't be hard to do because it'd probably be a third of the normal realistic game mode map size. But instead of being realistic as far as only spawning with one aircraft, it would be like arcade, where you have as many aircraft as you have unlocked at your disposal. However, instead of the arcade flight models, we would have the realistic. And instead of having like a domination game mode, maybe we have like a air superiority game mode where you have to go in there and either hold the airspace for a certain amount of time, or defend a certain area. If you're defending, you have to defend against all the attackers. If you're attacking, you just have to attack the airfield, and whoever survives with whichever team is left standing with the most aircraft wins. I mean, I'm really not going to get into the gameplay, right, or the game mode itself, my ideas for it, but I personally think it would be great if we finally saw a switch, or at least an in-between between realistic and arcade. Because if you're like me, I feel like everybody in the community would prefer to see arcade game mode gameplay where, you know, you're getting 8 to 10 to 15 kills because it's fast-paced. You know, you don't have to do a lot of transitions. I can just play, go after the aircraft. I don't have to put any transitions in because it's going to be no more than 15 minutes anyways with how the game modes are set up. However, if you're like me and you hate arcade for the simple fact that you could be at a BF-109 or a Focke-Wulf 190 or a Yak 9, and you'll be diving down and you'll be on the tail of somebody, you'll put some rounds into them, you won't quite get the kill right off the bat, and so you zoom away because that's what your aircraft is for. And sure enough, they somehow do a complete 180, throw on their emergency power, zoom up and catch you out of nowhere in arcade, and you get killed. Even though, had that been realistic, you would have gotten the kill and been able to zoom away even if you had not gotten the kill. So what I would like to see is a nice mixture of both. I know a lot of people, I feel like at least a lot of people would also enjoy to see that, is maybe even with the damage that realistic battles come across. But personally, I mean, I would stick with the damage models that is in arcade. Just give us the flight models of the realistic battles. You know how amazing that would be? A little bit bigger map, so not everybody's just jumping to the fray in the first 60 seconds. But maybe, you know, where you actually do have to take off from the ground, you take off, you fly, and I don't know, maybe duke it out in realistic flight models with arcade damage models. I don't know how well that would work. Maybe we just stick with realistic flight models and damage models with smaller maps and more than one aircraft to choose from. I think that'd be great. You could even throw that into the events queue where, you know, it's Americans versus Japanese, Germans versus Russians, however you want to do it. I think it'd be a great implementation, especially in the future patches. So let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm not being clear enough right now. I will have a future video, I will tell you that right now, with more details, and because I've thought this out quite a bit, guys. I'll be honest, I was dying in arcade mode, and even when I jump into realistic, it just seems like all the luck wasn't on my side. So I wanted something that was a little bit better, something that can really testament to your skill, but at the same time not be as slow as realistic. That's what I'm looking for here. So those are my very small patch 1.3. Now I know this game is constantly being developed, so I'm not really just jumping in and, you know, I need 50 things in the next patch. Heck, I'd even take this in patch 1.41, whenever that may be coming out. But that's my wish list, guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to hear from your comments. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Aim 2 as the Brits. Not the best, but hey, it was ground strike. I had to go after those bombers somehow to get the win. So thank you for watching, and until next time, I will see you in the skies.